Hi, guys. Happy New Year to everybody. Laura and I wish all our fellow Americans a prosperous and peaceful and happy New Year. We are really happy to be spending New Year here in Crawford, Texas. We'll be having our New Year's hamburger here in a minute. Be glad to answer a few questions. Ron and Patsy, Mike.
Why are you not considering military action against a defiant, unstable, unpredictable nuclear-armed North Korea?
Yeah, I view the North Korean situation as one that can be resolved peacefully through diplomacy. The international community, particularly those countries close to North Korea, understand the stakes involved. I had a very good visit with President-elect No of South Korea. I've obviously talked to Jiang Zemin right here in Crawford about a nuclear weapons-free peninsula. There's strong consensus not only amongst the nations in the neighborhood and our friends, but also at the international organizations such as the IAEA that North Korea ought to comply with international regulations. I believe this can be done peacefully through diplomacy, and we will continue to work that way. All options, of course, are always on the table for any president, but by working with these countries, we can resolve this.
But you're not currently contemplating military action?
Well, Ron, I think I believe this is not a military showdown. This is a diplomatic showdown, and we can resolve this peacefully.
So you
hold on a second, please.
Sorry, excuse me.
And intend to work to resolve it peacefully. We've got good progress in talking to our friends, and I look forward to the fact that President-elect No is sending some people over here, and that he himself will come after he's been inaugurated. Patsy, then John.
So why should we be more worried about Saddam Hussein, who has no nuclear weapons, than Kim Jong-il, who is unstable and does have nuclear weapons?
Well, first of all, I think it's important to remember that Saddam Hussein was close to having a nuclear weapon. We don't know whether or not he has a nuclear weapon. We do expect him to disarm his weapons of mass destruction. That's what we expect. Secondly, the international community has been trying to resolve the situation in Iraq through diplomacy for 11 years. And for 11 years, Saddam Hussein has defied the international community. And now we've brought the world together to send a clear signal. We expect him to disarm, to get rid of his weapons of mass destruction. The first step in determining whether or not he would do that was discouraging. His declaration was short, and the international community recognized that he wasn't forthcoming. Again, I hope this Iraq situation will be resolved peacefully. One of my New Year's resolutions is to work to deal with these situations in a way so that they're resolved peacefully. But thus far, it appears that on first look that Saddam Hussein hadn't heard the message.
Sir,
Yeah. Yeah.
Your budget directors put the possible cost of a war with Iraq in line with the first Gulf War. Why shouldn't Americans view this possible war as possibly crippling our economy that's already very slow?
An attack from Saddam Hussein or a surrogate of Saddam Hussein would cripple our economy. My biggest job and most important job is to protect the security of the American people, and I'm going to do that. And I have made the case and will continue to make the case that Saddam Hussein with weapons of mass destruction is a threat to the security of the American people.
But can this economy afford to fight a war?
This economy cannot afford to stand an attack, and I'm going to protect the American people. The economy's strong, it's resilient. Obviously, so long as somebody's looking for work, we got to continue to make it strong and resilient. My most important job is to protect America and Americans, and I take that job seriously. And that's exactly what this administration is going to do. John.
Sir, are you concerned about the report that you had 5 people come across the Canadian border illegally? Are you concerned that there are any new threats to the American security right now as we go into this new year?
I have authorized the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, to put out an all-points bulletin for 5 individuals who we believe have been smuggled into the country. We need to know why they have been smuggled into the country, what they're doing in the country, and if anybody has any information about the 5, I would hope they would contact their local authorities. John, we don't have any idea what their intentions may be, but we are mindful that there are still some out there who would try to harm America and harm Americans, and so therefore we take every threat seriously and every piece of evidence seriously. And the American people need to know there's a lot of good people working hard, whether it be on New Year's Eve or any other time, to protect the American people. Mike, you got anything?
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. President.
Thank you.
What effect do you think that...
That's plenty. No.
What effect do you think that the attention to Senator Lott's comment has had on the image of the Republican Party across the country? And what do you plan to do to repair any damage?
Well, first of all, I think that most people understand that that there are Republican Party cares deeply about each individual, regardless of the color of their skin or their religion. And I will continue to promote policies that enable the American individual to achieve his or her dreams. I believe in equal access to the greatness of America, and this administration is committed to that, and will continue to work toward that goal. Yeah, show you how generous I am.
Mr. President, looking ahead here, with the possible war with Iraq looming, North Korea nuclear conflict, as well as Osama bin Laden still at large, is the world safer as we look ahead to 2003?
Yeah, it's a lot safer today than it was a year ago, and it's going to be safer after this year than it was this year, because the United States of America will continue to lead a vast coalition of freedom-loving countries to disrupt terrorist activities, to hold dictators accountable, particularly those who ignore international norm and international rule. And this government will continue to lead the world toward more peace. And the American people need to be mindful of the fact that our government is committed to peace and committed to freedom. And we hope to resolve all the situations in which we find ourselves in a peaceful way. That's my commitment, to try to do so peacefully. But I want to remind people that Saddam Hussein, the choice is his to make as to whether or not the Iraqi situation is resolved peacefully. You said we're headed to war in Iraq. I don't know why you say that. I hope we're not headed to war in Iraq. I'm the person who gets to decide, not you. And I hope this can be done peacefully. We've got a military presence there to remind Saddam Hussein, however, that when I say we will lead a coalition of the willing to disarm him if he chooses not to disarm, I mean it. And we will continue to work to resolve the situation on the Korean Peninsula in a peaceful way. And it was right here in Crawford, Texas, where I had meaningful and good discussions with Jiang Zemin. Heck, it wasn't all that long ago that a U.S. leader never spoke to the Chinese leader. And right here in Crawford, we had a dialogue where we both committed ourselves to working in a way to convince Kim Jong-il that it's not in his country's interests to arm up with nuclear weapons. And I believe that can be resolved peacefully. Listen, thank you all. I'm thinking about a little nature walk in a couple of days. Anybody interested? About 4 miles. I know you're interested. Yes, Patsy, sorry.
To eat less cheeseburgers.
Matter of fact, it's an interesting question she asked. Did I keep last year's resolution to eat less cheeseburgers? And the answer is yes, to the extent that I'm now comfortable in having a cheeseburger today. Hope you all enjoying yourself here.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you. Good luck to you.